All right, joining us now, Senator Lindsey Graham, who this weekend was campaigning and endorsing President Trump as the kickoff to the 2024 election cycle has now begun. Senator Graham, good to have you back. All right, before we get to that, so we agree on a lot of issues. We don't always agree. Over the years, we've had our differences. There's every once in a while, I want to reach through this television set and pull you by the tie and kind of like say, Lindsey, wake up, what are you doing? And that happened over Christmas. Why? Can you explain to this audience why on earth, knowing that the Republicans were coming into the House?
Can't hear.
Oh, you can't hear? It's a great setup to a question.
I'm not dodging the question. I can't hear.
I believe you when you can.
You just had can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. Yep.
Okay.
Thumbs up.
You just had Ronald Reagan on. Ronald Reagan protected the Defense Department and made it strong. This omnibus bill did suck. You're absolutely right. We put $1.7 trillion in a pile. Nobody knew what was in it. I had three bad choices. Shut down the government. Wasn't going to do that. Continuing resolution, which kills the Defense Department. Inflation's at 7%. I voted for the bill because it increased defense spending by 10%. Which means that we actually have more money to defend the nation. I'm hoping my friends in the House can do a better job so I'm not put in this position again. But to my House Republican colleagues, you send a bill over to the Senate that cuts defense, I'll try to kill it.
All right. Can you hear me now, Senator?
Gotcha.
You got me. All right. I love how you kind of heard but didn't even hear. I was going to go a lot harder.
I sort of knew where you were going, and you're right to be. Listen, I get it. I didn't like it either. Yeah.
But you didn't have to go along with it. You could have worked with the House, but we'll save that for another day. Let me ask you, so you're with the president this weekend. He kicks off his campaign, gets your endorsement, gets the governor of South Carolina's endorsement. And what you said this weekend was, you know, how many times have we heard we like Trump policies, but we want somebody new? And then you said there are no Trump policies without Donald Trump. It's interesting you asked that question because two potential contenders in this nominating process would be Nikki Haley and former Secretary of State Pompeo, people we both like. And I asked both of them the same question. What policy differences do you have with President Trump? Neither one of them really had an answer on any policy differences at all. It seems like the Trump agenda is the agenda for the entire Republican Party. So how will other candidates distinguish themselves against Donald Trump if they agree with his policies?
I really don't know, but I do know this. We're lucky as a party to have Mike Pompeo, who was a terrific Secretary of State, Nikki Haley, a strong voice in the UN for American First Agenda, my buddy and love Tim Scott, right? We got Mike Pence, maybe the most decent guy to ever serve in the government, all talking about running for president. Here's why I'm with Trump. I know the downside of Trump, but let me tell you about the upside of Trump. There are no Trump policies without Donald Trump. You know why NATO gave $431 billion in defense spending increases? Because they thought that Trump really meant it when he said he was going to pull out. You know why we moved the embassy of the United States to Jerusalem? Every president before Trump said, I will do it. But then all the smart people said it will create World War III. Trump said I would do it. I would do it. He is responsible for securing the border through his personal will. When he put tariffs on Chinese products, it scared the crap out of Mexico, and they said, yes, we'll be glad to give you 28,000 troops. We'll be glad to keep people in Mexico, because they thought Trump would put tariffs on Mexican policies. There are no Trump policies without the man, Donald Trump. And to all these people who are very talented, I don't think you could do what he did, and I want him to have another shot. Unfinished business.
Let me, politics is a nasty business, as well as anybody.
Yeah,
and you mentioned a lot of names. You mentioned Tim Scott, Nikki Haley, both from your state of South Carolina, Mike Pompeo, Larry Hogan's thinking about it, Chris Christie's thinking about it. Then you got Governor Glenn Youngkin. I think the rumors are probably true that he's thinking about it. We keep hearing Ron DeSantis. He's been a great governor for Florida. He's, according to every report, he's thinking about it. The question is, at the end of the day, primaries always get nasty. Look at your state of South Carolina. You used to be friends with John McCain, who ticked me off more than any one politician in the world, but you were friends with him. Okay. Remember when it got to South Carolina, how vicious that campaign was with George W. Bush? So it always starts out people trying to be friendly. It never ends up that way, does it?
No, we need to get ready for a real spirited contest. Now, why Trump? Now, you mentioned like DeSantis. If you try to tell me that Ron DeSantis is not a good governor in Florida, I'm not going to listen to you. If you try to tell me Mike Pompeo is not qualified to be president, I'm not going to listen to you because I think he is. I am for Trump, not because of the flaws of anybody else. I'm for Donald Trump because I know what I'm going to get. We need somebody that on day one can get this country back on track, that can secure our border and bring order out of chaos. Somebody the Russians and the Chinese fear. Somebody that can take the fight to the terrorists. The Abraham Accords, the result of Donald Trump impressing the Arabs and the Israelis. He is the best solution to the problems we face, not because of the flaws of others, but because what I know he can do. And I'm telling your listeners right now, when you hear, I like Trump policies, but I'm ready for somebody new, there are no Trump policies without Donald Trump.
Senator Lindsey Graham, always great to have you. Thank you. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.